This is a great hand, finally. There is some good potential here. So turn 1, we have our Stalwart. He could tap us for mana, tap another creature for mana. Turn 2, we have our Dissident, which is basically the core piece of our deck. Whenever an artifact enters, it grows our board. Whatever creature we want, target creature. So next turn, we have 4 mana. We could play the Ironclaw Crusher, which I think we're basically always going to want the Claw Crusher to grow himself, since he buffs things equal to his power. This is a good example of us being on the play and an opponent not being able to respond to what we're doing. Like, turn 1 we play a ramp, turn 2 we play a strong uncommon that like our deck is built around. Like, this card is okay on its own, but as a build around card, when the entire deck is based around it, it's like an A. Like, it's so much better all of a sudden. And then turn 3 we're gonna play a 4-drop that's also an uncommon strong card that's gonna give us a trigger. And then by turn 4 we'll be attacking. What? Opponent discard a land? What a waste. He just doesn't want to play the game for some reason. Does he rope us again? This is some bad content here. Wesley Snipes. Very, very unfortunate game. That opponent's not playing. Well, I guess we'll plan the next turn. If we draw a land, we'll pay 4 for the Golem with our land, put the counter on the Claw Crusher and attack with everything. If we don't draw a land, it's something we're not going to cast. We could play the Patrol and then attack with all. That's probably what I'll do. That way next turn if I cast an artifact, I get double trigger. Trigger on the Patrol and on the Dissident. My opponent had Esper. He had the Dream, all of his lands, and he still DC'd or something. We have to assume something happened to opponent that was unprepared, or he was not prepared for. Not a fun game, not a good win. Too bad, especially when our deck was doing something really strong like this. I'm so sorry, bro. Not really good game, but I'm sorry. It really feels bad for Wesley Snipes. He lost to... Am I gonna say it? I'm gonna say it. This game is coded like crap and full of bugs. This game sucks. I love it though. Abzan artifacts with super synergy. Well, this is kind of the card our whole deck's based around. And we have 1 basic land of each of our colors. We call that the Dream. Where I come from, we call that the Dream. We have a good curve here too. We have a 2-drop into a 3-drop. Our 4-drops, we don't love them. This guy wants to sack a thing. We don't have any good sacrifice fodder in our hand. Like, everything is nice and good. And this guy wants to return artifacts, which we don't have any of in the graveyard. But still a good hand.
We actually don't mind sacrificing the perimeter patrol with the Skyfish Spider on turn 4 on account of Hero of the Dunes coming in right after and returning something 3 or less, which would be the perimeter patrol. So opponent on Azorius soldiers. At least we could clearly see what he's doing already. I guess we could sack either one of these to the spider. Okay, so we'll do that. Spider. I'll eat the patrol just in case I don't get him back for some reason. In case this opponent like exiles something from my graveyard. I want the dissident more. We lose out on an attack, but I don't think we're worried about losing out on early damage against flying aggro. We're more in like the if we survive early, we are going to win late game plan. Though you never really know in draft. Opponent could have something like a Platinum Angel, some sort of mythic bomb that just wins the game. Yep. I will attack first. Opponent could be playing counter magic. He has 2 blue in, a 3rd mana up. That would be really sad. It would be a tragedy. Bomb. Synergy. It's crazy. This deck is built around artifacts. It has so many, and I haven't drawn any in the top 12 of 40. Another Skyfisher Spider. Alright, let's go to combat. Opponent should have attacked while I was tapped out with his flyers, but maybe he's trying to set himself up for good blocks. He has a lot of mana. He could pay ambush paratrooper's ability once. Yeah, I mean, those are pretty good trades for opponent. I don't think I have any graveyard recursion for 4 CMC or more, so I will take action. The dissident is sad right now. He's not doing anything. Another legendary creature. We don't have any of those. Just artifacts are the targets. I think I'll just pass here. I'm in no rush to kill opponent. I'd rather him wait to play a bomb to kill it with the Skyfisher Spider than to kill a little dorky paratrooper. Static net. That's strong. Opponent doing us some favors here, because ETB triggers from the hero is extremely good. So I'll play the second dissident I drew, and I'll sadly sack it despite its synergy, because getting back heroes will give me an ETB trigger as well as buff everything else on board. 3 CMC or less. There's the defabricate. So we countered the triggered ability. That's good. Opponent on no cards in hand, no board, and an aggro game plan. Oh, no. That is very scary for us. Opponent now has a clock, and we must win before that. He cannot pay 5 mana to activate that. He's short 1 mana. So I'll put it on the Dissident so he can attack. I'll give this haste. And now we must win quickly, for the Helm of the Host will get out of control. Okay. Well, we'll get my artifact trigger. I'll put it there. Because he has 2 things with first strike, we don't want him to double block the Dissident. There it is. There's our synergies coming in. We could assume he's not going to block with the Survivor. Good game. We drew into our combo pieces, or at least into our artifacts, but it took a while. But when we finally did, we went, 3 in a row for it, so good game. Looks good enough. It's a little slow. 4 lands and nothing to do till turn 3. But even if opponent's aggro and comes out fast, the fact that we have 2 of these Boulder Branch Golems to come in and gain us life, it's really good. Foundry Inspector also is kind of the king of the deck. I mean, it was built around those Yoshin Dissidents, but now we get to double spell here. Look how efficient this turn 4 is. We play a 4-drop and a 2-drop. Foundry Inspector already saving us 2 mana. Wow. Alright, so here we're going to save another mana from the Foundry Inspector. Reduces the cost of artifacts by 1. Then just be mana efficient here. First I'll go to combat. Get in for 6. Then I will be mana efficient and pay the 2. Make a 2/2. And the reason I do that now is because I drew the Hero of the Dunes, which can return target artifact or creature. I just want a target for it. Get my target. Now if I attack with all, he gets to eat one of my blockers, but then he loses the game. It's worth. Opponent has 1 good block, and it's fine. It's good, good for him. You get to eat something. But if he chooses his power plant worker to live, which he will, he'll block either the token golem or one of these golems. He'll goes to 1. Anytime you could put opponent to 1 and still have a good board state, it's usually worth it. It's not worth me passing there and letting opponent, you know, rebuild a board and he's sitting on 11, harder to get in for damage. Sometimes it's time to press the attack. No blocks. Good game. I'm loving this Abzan deck. This is a darn fine keeper. Love the Mask of the Jade Crafter. Love the Scrapwork Rager. Deadly Riposte is super good if opponent's aggro. And this hand has so much recursion value and like later grindy like comeback mechanics. It has 2 unearth cards. And then of course Scrapwork Rager will draw me 2 cards over the duration. So it's a hand that feels really comfortable to win if the game goes late. I have a lot of value to gain from it. But then also has the 1 copy of Deadly Riposte, which will keep me alive against an aggressive strategy. But it looks like we're against Golgari Graveyard for the 2nd time in a row. Prison Sentence is good. But I think I'd rather make a 3/3. We'll save the Prison Sentence for a creature that might be more threatening than the 3/2. Now I'm tempted to put the Prison Sentence on the Burnish Heart. Like, if this game goes long, consider the advantages opponent gets from fetching 2 lands next turn. You know, if opponent's playing 17 lands and he gets 2 of them out of his deck, he's already got 4 out, then the chance of him drawing land considerably goes down, and it ramps him 2 lands, so he could do some very powerful stuff with his Power Stone and 2 extra lands. So the fact that Prison Sentence has that extra line of text that says enchanted creature can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated, that's the real reason to cast that here. Happy to get the Scry 2 when it comes in as well. Got the Scry away 2 lands to the bottom. This is good, but I can double spell with the Riposte and the Patrol. So I think that's better. Since he didn't attack with the Clear Cutter, I'll save my Patrol and just Deadly Riposte his creature. Yeah, those are kind of the times that you wish you saved your Prison Sentence. Trample. Trample, you say? Okay. We're stuck to take 10 damage next turn. But perhaps after that, we could do some big blocks on the Rust Goliath. Perhaps we could draw a Skyfisher Spider. We have 2 of them. Oh, please, Lords of Magic, allow me to draw the card I need to win the game. Okay, that's fine. That is not the card I needed. But we do get to go build the board up. The Dissident plus the Rager. Draw a card and get a counter. Put the counter here. So we got 13 power on board. So we can block and trade with the Rest Goliath. We'll take some damage from the trample. I might have to chump the Clear Cutter if he attacks with that too. I'll lose my board, but I will get rid of the Rest Goliath. So the best way to do this, I think, is to chump like this and go there. But let's go over the math here. 3, 6, 10. So it's exactly 10 power. And it's 8 toughness. So 2 tramples over. And then the Dissident just dies. But I don't, so we have no choice. Well, oh my goodness, does it do it? Does it keep us alive? I don't think so. We could draw another 2-drop from the Refractor. Draw me something good. Keep me in this game. Ah, too expensive. Good game. Well, instant regrets on casting Prison Sentence on Burnish Heart. And maybe not instant, but like, 2 turns later. If I didn't cast Prison Sentence on Burnish Heart, then he sacks it the next turn, and he would have played the Rest Goliath 1 turn sooner. I think. Could be remembering wrong. But definitely not worth doing that, so we'll remember that Rest Goliath is a thing in the future. GG. I love you, Abzan deck. Don't let me down. We don't have any black in our hand. We do have 3 premium 3-drops. At least 2 premium 3-drops in the Foundry Inspector and the Sentence. So I'll keep it. The perimeter patrol isn't bad either. Happy to have drawn a cantrip for turn 2. Better than doing nothing. And very happy to have drawn our final color of mana. So far, we must admit, these have been good draws. Would like to draw some artifacts to synergize with Foundry Inspector. Okay. You'll go from these were some good draws when you hit a land to these draws suck real quick if you draw 3-4 lands in a row. We might be on the survive game plan. I don't think I want to take 3 damage for free here. The fact that I have nothing in my hand that Foundry Inspector reduces the cost of makes them a lot worse. Okay. So we make a white with this. Okay, not like that game. And we'll scry 2. We'll make a construct and we'll scry 2. We do not need any more lands, but the riposte is good here. It looks to me like opponent is playing Orzhov 3 CMC Matters, which there's the evidence, and the proof is in the pudding. Now we have a chump blocker. Okay, so here's a big brain play. If I don't attack, then guarantee opponent doesn't attack with the Hero of the Dunes. Because Hero of the Dunes buffs his whole team, so he doesn't want to trade it for a 2-2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack, so that he attacks me, so I could target him with Deadly Riposte, because it only hits tapped creatures. If I play the 3/3 Perimeter Patrol, it's the same case. He doesn't want to attack with the Hero of the Dunes now. So I'll Prison Sentence the Acrobat, get my Scry 2. Those are both good. Next turn I'll have 6 mana, so I could double spell the Patrol and the Jadecraft. Oh no, it costs 5 to do that. We don't need the Stalwart. We're not short on mana. We'll throw that away. And I did not leave myself any white mana, so I cannot Deadly Riposte now. Some terrible misplays. Gut-wrenching. I'll just do this now. Does not feel good to use instances on at sorcery speed. Opponent with a strong kill him in the air game plan. Oh, I misplayed so hard. Should have kept the construct back. Passed. Deadly Riposted whatever was attacking, probably just the flyer. Okay. We'll kill the biggest. It's gotta be a creature, right? I was planning on it being the energy refractor, but that's okay. Kill the biggest flyer. We'll play this. And we'll attack with 4 on the ground since our creature is useless against flyers. Very disappointed in myself for misplaying so hard. I will do the favorable block for me. At least it trades. And I will absolutely have to gain 1 life. Gaining 1 life there puts me on, or it gives me 1 extra turn of a clock. Just kidding. Well, nothing to do here. Must regret. Ah, that turn was so bad. So bad. You're a fool. I will say good game, but it wasn't for me. It was a good game for opponent. I just suck at the game today. Regrettable decisions. Definitely game was... I shouldn't say definitely game was winnable, but definitely I could have played a lot better and it would have affected the board state very heavily, probably leading into a win. So, GG anyways. Thanks for watching. Cheers.